Cawley Camino 2019.
Well, welcome to our launch for Cawley Camino 2019, and I'm really looking forward to it. Juanma is here with us today, and it's great that you're actually from Vigo, which is very much the central hub for both our trips this year. So for those people who don't know for sure exactly what we're doing, we're going to start with trip number 1. Give us the details.
The first trip we will do, it's in the Portuguese Coastal Way at the very beginning of it. So it'll be Porto to Vigo. And the second trip starting September 12th, so back-to-back trips. It will start in Vigo and it will finish up in Santiago de Compostela in the cathedral.
We've had quite a few veterans take part in all of the walks over the years, and they keep coming back. I can't get rid of them. But the thing that I thought was brilliant was, for those people who do a Camino, coming into Santiago on the last day in the square and touching your foot off the tile is a very emotional and a very special time, particularly when you've put a lot of work in. There are blisters, there are sore knees, sore hips, sore heads in some cases. But that's a very special moment. Now, we have a group of veterans that have done that quite a few times. So this is why we've designed trip number 1 for those people who know what that's about, but now it's time to explore further back along the Camino Trail. So where we would normally start in Tui or Vigo, we're going back how many kilometres?
So we could go back in around 170 kilometres. We could backtrack all the way down to Porto, to the starting city. We will skip the first day. Day 1 is not the most amazing, so we kind of cut that short.
There are some areas in from Porto up to Vigo where we'll be shipped away in the bus. The bus will take us to our accommodation and then we'll be put back to a point where it will be quite nice.
Exactly. That's what we'll do in the first day. Then, because the accommodations are smaller and everything, we will kind of use the bus to take you only to the best towns and the best cities.
Because a few people expressed concern that there was a few areas in Porto, between Porto and Vigo, that weren't great. There wasn't an awful lot going on, but we're fully aware of that, and we're going to take you from that point and find the greatest bar.
The town with the most bars.
Of course.
Where there's something for everybody.
I'm really excited about this part of the Camino, because this is real stuff. This is real heart of Portugal, making our way to the border, crossing across into Spain. And where we would normally finish in Santiago, we'll be finishing in Vigo, which is a fabulous city because we stay there. Vigo is the point where you start for the Portuguese Coastal Way heading to Santiago. So there's a wonderful night in Vigo to be had in the great city, of course, which is where you're from.
That's my hometown. I can only talk highly about it. But yeah, no, it is really, really nice. Even if you're not finishing all the way up in Santiago, you still get rewarded with really, really nice views. Gotta say, 50-50 there with what you will see on the second week. So
trip number 2, on the day trip number 1 finishes, trip number 2 will arrive in from Santiago and arrive to Vigo to do the Portuguese Coastal Way towards Santiago. This is actually my favourite one because day 1 you spent walking around the entire bay of Vigo. Tell us a little bit about the trip from Vigo heading towards Santiago.
Well, the trip is really, really nice. In fact, the first stage, as you mentioned, the one overlooking Vigo Bay, it's probably one of my favourite days in the Camino. Of all trails, really. When you walk from Vigo to Redondela, the Senda da Auga trail, it's an old irrigation system that was just rebuilt into a walking path, a forest trail, and it is truly spectacular. Then from Redondela onwards, it kind of turns inland, but the landscape, it's still very, very nice. You get the typical forestry areas. You walk into Pontevedra, which is also a really, really nice
Great city.
Very beautiful. The squares and the streets in Pontevedra are absolutely amazing. They are our big rivals as well, so I didn't like to talk too highly about them.
It's all right. We invented that here in Ireland. Now, John is on the line with us today. John joined us on one of our Caminos this year, and I suppose a lot of people ask us over and over again, what is it about the camaraderie? What is the magic that we find very hard to sell sometimes to people? There is magic on the Camino. Perhaps you can shine a bit of a light on this, John. What was your favourite bit?
Phil, as you've mentioned there yourself, and hello, Juanma, the descent in at the end is something special in itself, but there's just so many special parts of the Camino along the way, right from meeting a group of strangers at the start and, before the end of the first day, you've made such, bonds with those people, and it's a great leveler too in terms of ability and lack of ability that people have. Everybody just helps everyone along, and it's just the friendships that are built is it's very hard to replicate.
The friendships come around
trip.
very quickly as well, don't they?
Very quickly, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And when you can walk along with someone on a day, and you might walk with a different group of people another day, and then joining up in the evening time, and as you say, the camaraderie that builds there is just fantastic,
Yeah, and of course the slagging is another thing. Disco night's always very unpopular because we always find one night to do disco night, and you were quite good at the old Weather Girls It's Raining Men dance off.
Yeah, I think we stormed the floor, but we stormed the floor for that one, so we did. But we were a bit slow off the mark before that, so I think there was a bit of Dutch courage needed to get us there. But yeah, it was. The disco night was a special night, and of course your golden toenails were another
golden toenails.
Night
Yeah. They're the awards.
Award night. Good fun,
I'm not even going to ask. That was really not
normally with a Camino trip you'll lose at least one toenail, so we did the golden toenails. Listen, John, it was a pleasure meeting you this year. You were a wonderful asset to the team, and thanks so much just for taking time out to have a little chat with us today.
Not at all. Well, thanks very much, and thanks, Juanma. All the best.
God bless. Hopefully we might see John next year, of course, if he's invited. He's a great guy. Listen, the magic of the Camino. There are 2 trips which I'm really looking forward to, and of course there's a third option as well.
Absolutely, which is taking them both. So they are back-to-back trips. So if you're brave enough, if you have 2 weeks
it's
off,
a bit hardcore, but if you've got 2 weeks off,
it's an absolute brilliant trip. It's an absolute brilliant experience. The great thing as well is that you will have 2 nights in Vigo. And not only Vigo is beautiful, but we have.
You're doing it again, Juanma.
I like the T-shirt. I like the T-shirt you brought today. You the Skellig Islands there, so representing for Ireland. Well done. But we have our own Skelligs, really, our own special islands. So just off the coast of Vigo, and you will see these in the first trip. Whether you're going on the first trip or on the second trip, because they are very, very visible at the very end of Vigo Bay. They are the Theas Islands. So if you're staying 2 nights in Vigo, that is a must-do trip. So take a boat, go to the islands. We have the best beach in the world, according to The Guardian.
You see, the ambassador for Vigo.
I didn't say it. It was The Guardian. Okay.
Listen, Juanma, thank you so much for talking to us about the trip. I'm so looking forward to it. I think the thing that we want to let people know as well is that coming up to Christmas, I mean, I know that people will be watching this in January and so on, is €100 is going to secure this trip for you, so you've got no worries and you can sort it all out in January then. Go on to CaminoWays.com/Cawley Camino and you'll get the details of the trips for 2019, and I'm actually really looking forward to it as well.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to planning it. Shame I can't go. I'd be more than happy to guide you all around Vigo, but
we could insist.
We could insist.
Juanma,
we'll work it out.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
We'll see you soon, and thank you so much. And thank you very much for watching our video today, our presentation for our 2019 trip. Any questions, anything at all, get on to CaminoWays.com. The team are there all the time, and they're more than happy to answer any questions. But make that initial inquiry by going on to CaminoWays.com/Cawley Camino. Fill in the form, and hopefully we'll see you in 2019.
Hasta la vista.